wedge issue plus organization. That could have been a really scary campaign, Amanda.
Oh, I think that he would have walked out of Iowa the clear-cut winner, and I don't think he could have been stopped if he had all of those pieces in place.
Well, maybe he can get it together as they head to New Hampshire. He's got a big lead there as well. But before we round out this segment, and we'll get to the also-rans later on, that's going to be fun. We're going to be talking stay or go later here behind enemy lines. Your pick for the big winner of the night, even though he ended up in bronze medal position, Marco Rubio. Tell us why you think Marco Rubio can walk out of Iowa as just as big of a winner, if not bigger, than Ted Cruz.
It all has to do with the performance. Rubio was the largest overperformer of the night. The final RCP average for Marco Rubio was 16.9. He ended in Iowa with 23.1.
It's an amazing jump, and it was because of last-second deciding voters, right, Amanda?
Yes. The undecided voters were largely breaking towards Rubio. Those were what the returns were telling us last night.
And that has a lot to do with that last debate performance that Trump missed and that Cruz did not perform as well in.
Yes. The conventional wisdom from that debate was that now with Trump out of the picture, that debate was going to give other candidates a chance to shine without the Trump bustle and brashness. And Rubio did, in fact, walk out of that debate as one of the shining stars.
So now looking forward, he's going to have momentum going into South Carolina with I believe it's the impending endorsement of Tim Scott. He already has Trey Gowdy on his side. So Rubio didn't spend a lot of money compared to some people we'll be talking about later on. He sets himself up in great shape for future growth.
Oh yeah, Rubio spent around $300 a vote in Iowa. He was the third largest spender. He was surpassed by Huckabee and Jeb Bush. But even though he was the third largest spender, he came out with the best results. Far outperformed the guys who outspent him.
Oh, absolutely. We'll be talking about those guys in a little bit. But as we round out this segment, before we head to our first break of the night, it looks like those lanes that we started talking about last year, Amanda, are starting to become more defined. We have the social conservative lane. Ted Cruz is taking over that lane. Tea Party lane, you can also say that as well. His talk about courageous conservatives. Although you can't say that Donald Trump has ceded that lane. And the establishment lane firmly in the control of Marco Rubio. Am I on target here?
On target.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to take our first break of the night. When we come back, we'll talk about the also-rans. We're going to play a little stay or go with the GOP. And we'll talk about that other caucus that we think they're still counting on right now on the Dem side. And a whole lot more show to come, folks. Gene and Amanda behind enemy lines. We'll be back right after this brief word.
I'm Vito.
And I'm Vito, and we're from WNJC's The Vito and Vito Show.
Every Friday at 1 p.m., you can hear Vito and Vito bring you the perspectives of two college-age millennial conservatives who are committed to defending the principles of free markets, liberty, freedom, and individualism from Brooklyn, New York.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Vito and Vito Show, and check out our blog posts and articles at vitoandvito.com.
Vito and Vito Show every Friday, 1 p.m. on WNJC 1360 AM, Philadelphia's Renaissance Station in Brooklyn.
It's nothing but the truth.
There's a movement in healthcare today. It's a movement of people that's ready to stand up and take charge of their healthcare. It's people like you and me who are tired of paying too much for healthcare and getting too little. People who are standing up for their values and letting their conscience make decisions based on timeless principles. It's a movement that's sweeping the nation, and you need to be a part of it. Liberty HealthShare is leading the movement of people who are looking for an alternative to traditional health insurance. Liberty Health Share is a healthcare sharing organization of people who are sharing the cost of healthcare in an easy and efficient way. Choose your own doctor, your own hospital, and live out your values in healthcare. Join the movement. Together, we're changing healthcare for good. Go to www.joinlhs.com or call 800-722-8041.
Who might you save?
Your mother, your father, your husband, uncle, aunt, son.
Learn FAST, F-A-S-T, the sudden signs of a stroke, and you could save.
Your friend, teacher, boss.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. F-A-S-T. That's F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in the recovery of
your neighbor, the waiter, grandmother, grandfather.
So learn FAST, the sudden signs of a stroke, then pass it on, because you never know who might save you.
Your wife, your colleague.
Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Behind Enemy Lines. Back on the air. Gene and Amanda, back behind enemy lines. Time to go through a little bit of GOP, should I stay or should I go? We're basing this on the performance of candidates at the Iowa caucus and our own projections here behind enemy lines as to how some of these candidates will be doing or how they should be doing as New Hampshire rolls closer and closer and we start seeing the field whittle down a little bit. Amanda? Obviously, the first person we got to talk about, Mike Huckabee. Happy trails to you. I hope we meet again, but not necessarily in the presidential primary, right?
Cheers. Let's meet up in a bar and have a beer.
Absolutely. Pour a little out for my homie, Mike Huckabee. The campaign is gone. And the reason why it's gone, and we talked about this before the show, is that Ted Cruz scooped his heat. Bottom line.
Oh, yeah. If there was any one place that he should have been competitive, it would have been Iowa. He failed in Iowa. He was even beaten by establishment candidates who really were not expected to perform well in Iowa. So really, this is the time where you just cut your losses and call it a day.
Did Huckabee miss his window by not running in 2012?
That's an interesting question. But I have to say no. I don't think that his brand of conservatism was really going to be a win against someone like Obama.
Well, and that may be something we can look to in a candidate right now, Rick Santorum, to see if we can answer that question. Rick Santorum, let's start with the should I stay or should I go with him. He won this state in the last presidential election cycle. And in this one, I don't even know if he showed up.
He came
but
dead last.
Should he stay or should he go?
He came in dead last. He should go, but he won't go. He's going to stick around for a long time, and we're going to have to deal with it.
But if a candidate makes a speech and nobody's there to hear it, does he really make a sound? I'm not so sure. But, okay, so Santorum, we're checking into the get-out-of-town pile.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no even need to analyze the precipitous drop that we saw from winner from first to worst. I mean, do we even bother analyzing it?
No. In fact, a reporter said this really wonderfully the other day. He said, listen to what Rick Santorum says, because all of his stories are no later than 2006.
Absolutely. I remember when
yes. He is done.
In Cleveland, in the first debate, he was talking about how he was the candidate for change based upon things that he was doing in the Senate in 1996. Absolutely right. Great call. Santorum, thank you very much. Happy trails to you. Chris Christie. We disagree on this one.
Well,
Chris Christie did not perform as well as he should, but you think he should stay.
Well, I will admit my bias that he is my fall in love guy. He is my honey bear. And I would say objectively, Chris Christie did not leave it all on the field in Iowa because he knew he was not competitive in Iowa to begin with. I would want him to stay around for New Hampshire, where he actually did put in a ground game. This is where he is somewhat competitive in the polls. While he has seen a downtick recently, Christie has gone up as far as second place in some New Hampshire polling. And he really did invest in the infrastructure for an operation in New Hampshire. So if you're going to go out, do it when you left it all on the field. And that was not Iowa.
Okay, well, apparently he's also President Obama's Huggy Bear. But that's a touchy subject, and I'm not going to go there with you. Let's see. Who else is in this motley crew? Let's talk Carly Fiorina for a second. Carly had one of the best first impressions of any first-time candidate ever at the Cleveland debate over the summer. And slowly but surely, she has declined to the point of the lowest of the low tier of the field. Should she stay or should she go?
Honestly, Carly's a hard one for me to call. And it's mostly because of all, when you think about women in politics, you kind of want to just see her run the race just for the sake of saying, yes, Republicans support women. Let's cut out this war on women narrative that the Democrats use on us. So on that alone, I would say she should have a place here for a bit longer. But at the same token, you know, if you're sucking up the oxygen and you're not contributing, what's the point? So I don't really know what to do with Carly right now.
Where is her path to victory? I think when we talk about any one of these candidates, we have to talk about where is their path to victory. I don't see a path to victory for Carly Fiorina right now. I don't see her making any headway in New Hampshire. I don't see her really going to make an impact in South Carolina. I don't see her making an impact in Florida. Where is the path to victory? Is she just hoping for a Super Tuesday bonanza between now and then? Because really, it's getting late early for that. If you don't have any sort of momentum, and in fact, if you're trending downward, I would think it's time to cut losses and see if you can throw your support behind somebody and see what you can get for your credibility.
Well, that could be why she's still in the game, Gene. She might be waiting to see what she could get out of it. Maybe she's looking for a cabinet post.
It could well be, and only time will tell. Okay, time for the curveball. Rand Paul. Should he stay or should he go? I have a very definite feeling about this, about what I want to happen and what I think will happen, but I want to see what you have to say about this.
Rand Paul is another hard one for me. I personally am inclined to say he needs to go, and I say that solely on the fact that I don't think that he fully fits in with the GOP of today, particularly in the terms of foreign affairs. I think that with everything that has happened in France and in California, his non-interventionist position is really out of step with the feeling of the party. So I don't really see a path to victory for Rand Paul.
I think Rand Paul should go. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. And I think I say that because of the Paul legacy. I think there is going to be more to do about Rand Paul contributing to the debate and trying to get his ideas on center stage as much as possible to influence policy later on. I think Rand Paul is playing a long game. I think while, commenters in our chat room say he should be going back to the Senate. And by the way, folks, while we're on live here on Spreaker, we do have a chat room going. So join us at www.BehindEnemyLinesRadio.us. Click on the Listen Live button and you'll automatically be put into the chat if you want. Log into it and contribute if you like. Got a couple of people in there right now. Rand Paul stays around. And he stays around because I think he's going to try to break down the party platform